Well, welcome everybody to Microphones and Monsters June edition.
Microphones and Morons.
Yeah, microphones. We'll see, we're morons. We're microphones and morons.
He's just playing.
I fucked up the intro.
He's playing into the bit. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's totally a bit.
Yeah, it's all
That went exactly as scripted.
My plan, yes.
Okay.
It was all planned.
The next thing on the script that says "Give Max $20." I don't know who put that in. I like that edit though.
I don't have that in my script.
It was a last minute rewrite.
Everybody has their own script. We don't know what each other has.
Be amazing.
No, there's no script here, folks. It's just us, and we got microphones, and we're morons.
I have a script.
They can't get
it's
an
in
intro
my
right.
Brain.
All right, so yeah, this story arc in this month, A Monster's Confession. So Max, how do you feel a story arc named after your character?
It was a lot of fun to play. I know we kind of discussed briefly about how we were going to do the loop in terms of, me meeting a character. I didn't know what it was, the character's name or anything like that. I just know it was going to be related to my past. And then, you threw in the character Edwin, and you did a really good job. Like, I really had no expectation of how he was going to be, how he was going to react, how he was going to do basically anything. You just gave me a name. It's like, yeah, he knows about your past, and he knows you've been to that university, and this is his name. Go. I'm like, okay. And it's literally like when you gave me the name and we cut off the episode, the oh fuck was like, yes, it was in character, but at the same time, like, my own person was like, oh fuck.
Yeah. I just, because I had to message you, and I was like, look, this has to do with your past. This is the name of the guy. You knew him in college, and you worked together on your past stuff with reanimation, and we kind of worked out the details of what happened in the past. I didn't tell you what happened in the past for your character. We did work out exactly what happened, but as far as what happened after that accident, that wasn't an accident that you caused. You had absolutely no clue.
And that's kind of how it is for all of us, really. We have at least an idea of our past, and at least a major event that kind of set things in motion, maybe, but not really anything aside from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we're as stuff comes up, and as I come up with new stuff, we can fine tune the past.
It's kind of fun because it's almost like a mystery for us too.
And I love that aspect, because I when I was speaking with Edwin, I wasn't making the jokey quips and stuff like that, because I had no idea what to expect. I was very caught off guard.
Yeah, because you hadn't seen him in. How old is Julian?
He's, I think it was 30 is what I wrote down. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it was 30.
Yeah. My wife asked me that last night, and I couldn't tell her. I was like, I don't know how old Julian is.
He is
30s.
Yeah, I am weathered. How about that? Let me put down in notes. Description: he is 30 years old.
Okay, so it's been at least 10 years since you've seen him. So you don't know what had happened to him in that past 10 years until he trusted you, and he was telling you his fucking past 10 years history.
Yeah, he was letting it roll too, and I was like, oh man, it's gonna be really embarrassing when I disappoint the absolute hell out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was trying to come up with a way to separate Victor and Alistair from Julian so they could have that whole monologue discussion thing with the past. And honestly, I never expected Julian to come out and say what he did in the past in front of Victor and Alistair. I did not.
Oh, yeah.
There was no plan around that. And I loved it.
I dropped that all immediately, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna see how he reacts to this, and it was badly. As we found out.
I mean, that's what you do. You take away their ammo.
So, yeah, it's something like that.
Well,
Yeah.
Victor was groggy, so didn't get any, he heard all that.
But no,
Alistair didn't really care. Like, I guess that's interesting, maybe.
Oh, what is this, Thursday? Okay. Should probably pick milk up on the way home.
No, it gets delivered.
Oh, he burned
That's
down.
right, by your
Okay,
yak folk.
Sure.
So does that
Do I
mean it's
know?
yak milk?
Yeah, it has to be yak milk.
Oh,
It's their milk.
Maybe.
You're drinking their milk.
I actually
That's
never
good
thought of
anyway.
where the milk came from, but it's probably not from them.
No. I hope not.
I mean, it would basically be the same as you just drinking human milk for like just you got jugs of human milk in your fridge.
I have questions
Now,
to
are
ask
there-
you for next episode.
But see, my question
do you
is-
prefer?
My question is, so we know that there are cats and there are sentient cats and there are the cat people, the tabaxi.
Tabaxi. Mhm.
Yes, you got that right.
So are there yak people and also yaks?
Yeah, there's totally regular yaks.
So do the yak people drink yak milk?
Sure.
And
Why
what
not?
would the
If they raise
difference
yaks, then
be?
sure.
Yeah. I mean,
These are the important questions.
It's a very good
look
question.
at like
These are the questions the fans have.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, if Disney can get by for this long without answering how Goofy and Pluto exist in the same world, then we can do the same damn thing.
Goofy's not a dog. Goofy's his own thing.
It's
They
true.
they have officially stated that
And,
now.
and
Goofy
yak
is
folk
not
are
a dog.
Yaks. They're their
What
own
is
thing.
he then?
Yeah.
If he's a,
But no,
if he's a
Goofy is
thing,
not
what
a
is
dog.
he?
He even has like human feet. Like if you go back to some of the cartoons, like he takes his shoes off and he wiggles his toes. He's got human feet. Where Pluto actually has dog paws.
But yeah, exactly. Like yak folk are not yaks.
Yeah.
Tabaxi are not cats.
So is
Yeah.
Goofy a dog folk?
Sure.
No, they did say that he's not dog at all. Goofy is just Goofy.
Yeah,
like he's his own thing.
he's his
like
own species.
So what about
His
his,
race is
children
Goofy.
and Pete?
The offspring of his species.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what.
You need to get into the Mickey
That's
Mouse.
just what they said.
Expanded
That-
universe.
we're talking about Disney fucking.
Yeah, Steven, you got research to do for the next Morons. I expect a full report of all Disney anthropology.
Absolutely.
I don't think I can do that.
I only know about the Goofy thing because I just happened to come across it in the past month.
Although, side note, does that mean that Mickey isn't actually a mouse?
And why is he so
Yeah.
much bigger?
Because there is mice in
Yeah, there is. I mean,
Disney
and he-
stuff.
and
I guess
And
though.
like,
I guess
he's
go ahead.
towers over Chip and Dale. Like he's a
But
mouse
they-
the
they're
same
chipmunks.
size as a dog.
I guess Mickey,
And
the
the dog.
mouse folk, doesn't really market well.
yeah the mouse.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean that Mickey Mouse is false advertising?
It definitely is.
Is Donald the Duck related to Howard the Duck? Since
Actually,
Marvel
now
owns
maybe.
Disney now.
Yeah, now they would be. Yeah,
That's a good one.
Does Howard the Duck
Now they
live
would
in
be.
like the Duckburg
In Duckburg?
universe?
Oh wow.
If
He's
not, then they need to start writing that in.
He's like an
Yeah.
he's like an uncle removed. like
Wait.
he's an uncle removed out of a previous marriage from the family.
we need to be on the writing team for season 2 of the new DuckTales.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're bringing Howard the Duck into that.
Are you kidding me?
It's going to be a whole different show.
So yeah, if anybody's out there listening that works for Disney, like, hey, hire us. We'll write Howard the Duck into Duckburg.
Just let me write an entire series centered behind the giant buff pilot. That's all I want.
You mean Launchpad McQuack?
Launchpad
Launchpad McQuack.
Yes. I'm just doing an entire series. I don't care.
Oh man. Oh. So yeah. I sent y'all into the Dreamlands because the only thing that I could not get Julian with was a gas. So
and like that's it. Unless you come up with some way to remove that mask for me, because like I basically wear it as soon as I know I'm going to get into the shit, or find like, or if there's some like magical way to like unattune magic items from a character.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
obviously it protects you from things that are inhaled, but it wouldn't necessarily protect you from things that are like injury based or injected or like things that would be able to seep in through the skin.
That's true.
Yeah. But the gas, that another reason I love having the Dreamlands as a world building tool, because I can do shit like that and keep the story going for Alistair and Victor while doing a side thing with Julian in the waking world.
Absolutely. Like asleep
and
and
you can't contact each other.
Like incapacitated doesn't mean you're out of the story.
Yeah. And I love splitting y'all up.
I think that's very apparent.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Whenever I was doing my research on how to do Cthulhu Mythos with 5th edition rules, like a lot of my research was done on Reddit and just looking up different articles and everything like that. But Reddit, a huge amount of Redditors for tabletop, for 5th edition in particular, D&D in particular, a lot of people are like, horror can't work, because Cthulhu Mythos can't work because the whole object of D&D is you get stronger and you beat the big bad boss, and you can kill gods and all this kind of stuff by the time you get to level 20 or level 17 or higher, or 15 and higher, really. But I feel like that's very short-sighted.
It is,
because you can do so much with 5th edition, like, and all the rules aren't necessarily locked in. And fucking be creative and come up with a way to create an encounter with a god or these entities that would just kill you instantly just by coming in contact with them.
Well, exactly.
And get creative with it and find a way to create less challenging encounters with a higher challenge rating creature or entity.
It's all about scaling, and really, like in Lovecraftian writing, it's not that, oh, well, all of these elder gods just kind of come into Earth and everything's fucked. The end.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times with Chambers or Lovecraft, I do like to throw in Chambers there, because he does have, he's the guy that influenced Lovecraft.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with their writing and the thing with just cosmic horror in general is that these cosmic entities, like, they don't care about us. They don't care about your characters. They don't care. Like, they don't see you as being able to stop them. So they're just like, whatever.
They were toys.
And the real monsters in most of the stories dealing with cosmic horror are the people.
Like Julian.
I was not in. Well, now that I don't think I was influenced by a cosmic event to make me do what I did. I just kind of got really interested.
Exactly.
Unless think about that later. The one thing I do love about the world, as it were, and it's my favorite motif in a lot of stuff, is coming to that point where you realize what the scales are in terms of the balance of power and how hopelessly outmatched you actually are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that kind of, because when we first started the campaign, I had a basic understanding of, Lovecraft, and then I started looking at, all of the old ones and stuff like that, and just realizing that their ability is just like, how do you stop that in D&D? Like, it was just like, well, if one of these things show up, we have to. I don't even think we can run. I don't think we understand the concept of getting away from them. We just become like anti-mimetic into nothing.
And if you look at like the Cthulhu Mythos actual source book, like they don't put like actual stat blocks for any of the outer gods or elder beings like in the book. Like it's not about beating them, it's about finding a way to prevent them from just destroying everything, like possibly closing a portal that they're using to access the earth or something like that. Like
challenge rating ? Question mark?
Exactly. So it's not about like fighting these things, because you would have no hope.
Yeah. And so many. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I haven't done any research or anything. I still know nothing about it because it helps me stay in character. These other two guys are reading books all the time. I'm just like, okay, well,
to be fair, like my character does
That
read books all the
sucks.
time, so at least have to have some kind of cursory knowledge.
Yeah, that's good. And like me just having a fandom with the whole SCP universe and the Foundation, like I love those because I mean there's a lot of entities and stuff like that in that universe that kind of carry over and maybe borrow some inspiration. And like I was just like, oh, that reminds me of SCP Object class Keter, special containment procedures. And then I roll
Which
it off.
I really like. I really like those because I've never really. I didn't know that there was YouTube videos out there of people just voice acting and reading them and stuff like that. And I thought that was really cool. And I've actually been getting into them more.
I'm going to throw out a shameless plug because there's two channels that do it very, very, very well. The one is SCP Illustrated, in which they sometimes do illustrations of like all the stuff, and they do like the mock-up interviews and the cases and stuff like that. The other one, because I love his goddamn voice, it is like the most best of dulcet tones, is called The Vulcan. And The Vulcan basically takes on this persona of formerly researcher Miller, now Dr. Miller. And he's basically teaching a class at the Foundation about all of the skips. And there's some interesting lore about him that I found out recently that I'm not going to say because I didn't. And it's like, I always had a question like, what does researcher Miller look like? And then someone tell me is like, oh, well, you see him every single time there is a video you post up. And then I scratched my brain. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's no person on there. And then like, I finally realized what it was and it blew my fucking brain out. It was so good.
Huh. I'll have to check that out.
You should. Yeah, The Vulcan on YouTube. Go check him out. He's a cool dude.
Okay. But yeah. Another thing with whenever I was doing that research on how to play Cthulhu Mythos in 5th edition was everybody that did have an idea, they were like, oh, well, here's an example. You can have cultists and they're trying to open up a portal for Cthulhu or somebody else. And like your job is to stop them. And that's what you hear a lot about. That's what you hear a lot for examples of how to play Cthulhu Mythos with D&D. And I feel like that's probably something that's way overdone.
And it's really limiting as well. If that's literally the only thing you're doing, it kind of reaches a point where it just gets old.
Yeah. So my goal was to, yes, there may be cultists, there may be stuff going on with cultists, but my object is to not have cultists are trying to open a portal and your job is to stop them from opening a portal. Like I want it to be a lot more. I want it to be better than that.
Absolutely. The world should be more dynamic than, oh, they're bad people, so they're cultists. Like there are other kinds of bad people.
Oh yeah, totally.
And sometimes those bad people are actually good guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing with this whole story arc, and it really, and the last one with you guys, y'all leveled up. Y'all hit level 4, you hit level 5, and a lot of times in D&D, like leveling up, it makes you feel stronger. It makes you as a player, if you feel like your character is stronger and you have a more impact on what can happen in combat in the world with just any encounter that you come across. And that is not the case with what I'm doing with the cosmic horror for this.
I mean, it definitely makes us stronger against certain things, but I mean, there are definitely still situations where we're still just as helpless as anybody else.
I think it gives us more utilities, or at least in terms of my character, it gives me more utility for different elements of doing the role play.
Yeah.
That much, at least, it works perfect in this situation because it's not a matter of there's the bad guy, point at the bad guy, burn down the bad guy. Except for hospitals, that's a different situation. But in terms of doing the RP aspect, like I like.
But not.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Oh no, you did in the past. You did burn down your lab.
Yeah, I burned down
the past.
I burned down the lab. So
yeah.
But like I like using magical tinkering. Like it was just a one-off. But the whole the Nihilist Creel, or not Nihilist Creel, Man in Yellow.
Dalton Renfield.
Dalton Renfield, just doing the whole, magical tinkering about, what's with the guy looks like a banana kind of thing. Like, I could just do that. That's great. But like,
what about the murders, you big yellow banana?
But and I think in general it helps a lot to be able to do something in this type of a setting to be more role play focused.
Yeah, and that's what I was like, don't expect to be fighting all the time. Like, build your characters for utility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially mine, because mine doesn't have as many options for a while. Like, you have to level up a few times before the monk can do anything besides,
flurry of blows. How
I'm going to disengage. Okay, flurry of blows.
In fact, you used one of those options in a recent episode that we recorded for the first time.
Yep. And so it's like
it
the
was
fact
horrific.
that we're leveling up is giving a lot more options for me to be able to do things, and in turn making the character feel more useful, like himself. Like the character feels like he's contributing more. He's happy about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you still have that sense of like, hey, I'm better and all this kind of stuff. But whenever like you accomplish something in the game, there's typically some kind of cost that goes along with it. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like where I try to focus with creating each story arc is, okay, y'all are your goal is to accomplish whatever you're coming up against, but like, what are the repercussions of it? And I don't see that a lot in D&D, that there's like any really lasting repercussions or just a sense of hopelessness after you accomplish something.
Yeah, it's not like when you're playing like Final Fantasy or something and you win and it's just dun 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 and everyone dances and then all of a sudden you're just better at stuff and you walk away.
I think collectively we all have that sigh of relief of just, oh, thank God that's over.
Definitely. Happened at least a few times already.
Yeah.
And then
Adam's
but
like, wait, there's more.
There's more. but it like with the house with the beast, and we're going back a little bit, like it doesn't always happen immediately, like that you regret something that happened. Like you're like, oh, Victor, where were those people at? Where were those bones at? And then you all just like, you could just hear in the silence, like everybody's just like, and then Victor goes, oh.
Oh Lord.
They might
But
still
yeah,
be
the-
okay. You don't know.
I mean, yeah, like they could still be alive in the house wherever it is.
Inside of the beast. Yeah.
Hanging out inside the beast.
Yeah,
They're in a
just chilling.
They're in a happier
Not
place
all of them
now.
are the walls.
The foundation.
Oh man. What was y'all's favorite like moments in this A Monster's Confession? Or I guess there was also the little
the
intro
little bit of the
area there,
downtime
which
and-
wasn't much.
Yeah, out on
Yeah.
the town and the preparation stuff.
Well, I think it deserves to absolutely be mentioned, but like the Yak folk are just amazing.
Oh, your voicing of the Yak folk was spot on. Like I could not stop laughing because it was just so damn good.
Oh man,
Yeah, the Yak folk were a lot of fun. They were a lot of fun in our other campaign too, when I first introduced Yak folk to everybody. And everybody, male, female, children, they all talk the same because they're Yak folk. And then I watched a Goofy movie like the day before we played, and I was like, okay, well, everybody's going to talk like Goofy because I feel like talking like Goofy. That's the whole reason behind it. That's my world building right there.
That's great.
oh yeah, there you go.
Never stop.
Some deep lore there.
Yeah.
I did like the bit where we went to Gimbal and Brackett. I thought those are good characters too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Shuriken, it's your style.
Shurikens.
You got your Judy chop, you got your karate chop, and you got your ninja chop.
Yeah, as uncomfortable as it was for Alistair, I still thought it was a lot of fun with the whole like wet interaction.
Yeah. Oh man, I
yes.
tried to kill you. Well, I wasn't trying to kill you, but I was.
Well, you were doing
It just
damn
worked
good
out.
job.
And I
just
hit
died
every
inside.
single roll. I was trying to hit every single roll, and I nailed it every time. And
I mean, not that it's
that's
that
what I
hard to hit,
wanted to
Alistair.
do to get you in the water.
Yeah.
Well, Victor helped. Victor was slashing that thing up with his like
Oh, yeah.
retractable Wolverine claws or whatever. I mean, not that.
Oh, that's so cool! Don't you dare give me that imagery.
Oh man.
No, I really liked the breakfast conversation between Victor and Julian. That was
Yeah.
one of my favorite bits.
Yeah.
Because
That
I
was really
didn't
good.
know that we were going to do that.
I was just letting y'all talk. I just I just gave y'all the floor. I just sat back and again I had a shit eating grin looking at Richard like, what, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, and then we had that, and that wasn't the conversation. Was that conversation we had in person, or was that when we did the remote recording?
That was in
No,
person.
that was in person.
That was in person.
Yeah,
That
'cause
was
I
our
remem-
last session together, actually.
I remember because it was just me and you talking to Steven, and I just remember looking out the corner of my eye and looking at Adam, and Adam is just looking back with like, this biggest smile, like, "Oh man, this is so good."
And
But yeah, that was a very humanizing moment for both of us.
Yeah.
Considering we're both monsters in our own way.
Yep.
Yeah.
and
Also, I liked that Victor did not have hooves for hands. I have no idea what was happening in my head.
Yeah. Just to clarify, he does have hooves on his feet, but he has claws on his hands. he's gonna fucking paw at stuff with his hoof hands.
Did you wear shoes too?
Look at my hooves.
I was actually thinking about that. I'm not positive if I wear shoes, which would throw a kink into when I transform into something else. I'm barefoot.
Yep.
Well,
You
no.
are you are barefoot when you transform into something else, unless it's not a good transformation and you keep your hooves.
well,
Oh,
definitely,
well, there you go.
definitely, even if you had some kind of shoe that fit over the hoof, it would not fit like a human foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would get horseshoes.
Let's just retcon and say that Victor's got like a pair of like loafers in his trench coat that he pulls out if he transforms into something with regular feet.
I was thinking of those weird shoes that have the actual toe slits, and it's basically like a sleeve for your foot,
Yeah.
like people do for like hiking trips.
Oh.
Which you have not taken advantage of. You have hooves, and you could kick the shit out of somebody, I'm sure.
Well, Victor's not inherently violent, so I don't know if he really can come up with those ideas on his own, right?
Yeah.
Well, he just cuts people up with his sharp ass claws.
Well, he's
not violent.
Truth be told, like when that happens, like I really think it's like he's just terrified and he's just like lashing out to defend himself. The thing he just doesn't know, and that is that he's a martial god and he's really good at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of getting this mental image of, just like the uber nerd, like trying to fight somebody and just looking away, just kind of slapping at them.
Yeah, like he's got his eyes closed the whole time, but he's
It's
like beating
Samuel
him up
Jackson
like
in Kingsman, where he won't look at the guy when he shoots him because it makes him go up.
Oh man, we don't need you throwing up bugbear.
Like how would that work?
anything.
Like if he threw up the bugbear and he didn't have any more bugbear, could he still turn into a bugbear?
No, he would still have
Like,
it.
does he have to?
Because I mean, he digests his food and just like
it's some
everybody
kind of magic
else.
junk going on. It's like magic physiology.
Is it like
So
a
he just has to-
digestion? Does he have to like wait 30 minutes? Is it like that wives' tale about
he
swimming?
gets the. It actually only takes him a minute of of eating something, and he has that inspiration, of them, and he has that until he chooses to lose it when he picks up a new
Okay,
one.
I get it. So he like absorbs it through his soft palate.
Yeah.
So if someone gives him a good forearm shiv and he just empties contents, he doesn't revert.
Yeah.
No.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah. No. What? Yeah. That's what I meant. I meant yeah, as you're correct.
One thing that I was looking forward to, but I don't think you've had an opportunity to do it, is you've been making these brews, but I don't think you've actually consumed one yet.
No, I haven't had like a great opportunity to do so.
I mean, it just has not been the right
Yeah.
situation to just drink.
No.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree, but we'll get to that later.
Well, some of them haven't. It just hasn't seemed appropriate.
I just thought you were just letting them like settle like you do like a really stiff stout, where like as soon as it's bottled, it's probably not the best time to drink it. If you just let it settle in the fridge for like 6 months, then it's perfectly mellowed out.
Well, if I haven't drunk them in 6 months, then Adam can like double the effect.
Does he get like an
Maybe.
extra
If we get
fermentation
6 months
process?
along in the world in the game, then
This is Victor's batch from 2018. This will be perfect.
1928.
Chateau de Bugbear.
Yes, I'll have the Victor Sodge 74, please. Thank you.
Oh man. So we're at about the 30-minute mark now. I think it's a good time to transfer over to a new thing that we got. Well, actually, we did it last time, Max. You had questions from Cathead Pins.
Yes.
And this time we have questions from our one and very first.
And very
our
best.
one and only and very first patron to Microphones and Monsters, Corey.
Yay!
Thank
We
you.
have
Corey.
questions from him. Yes, thank you. These are really great questions. I'm going to pull them up.
Really good questions.
I am also pulling them up.
I will let Adam read them out loud, and then I will answer if I have an answer.
I am looking at them, but I will still let Adam read them out loud.
I'll pull them up.
All right, so his first question is, how long have you all known each other?
And it varies a bit. Like,
Depending on the person, yeah.
Yeah. I'd say the oldest is me and Richard. We met on World of Warcraft back in 2008.
That sounds about right. Somewhere
It
around
might have
there.
been 2009, but
It was something like
about
that.
2008,
It would have been while I was
2009.
living in Colombia, so probably around there.
yeah. It was while I was in Colorado, so
And then,
I actually played with a group of friends that Richard knew, and then Richard came back to the game. And me and him were the only two people that were on really late at night because I worked second shift at the time, so I was up all night, and we would just duo stuff. We would duo bosses.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to find some way to entertain yourself.
Yeah, and I ended up moving to the town he lives in, or the town he lives in, whenever I got out of the Army in 2012, and I moved here with his group of friends, now my group of friends as well, and then in came in Max.
yeah, so I knew I met Adam and Richard through my old boss. They were both friends, and in fact, Adam and Joe is my boss, the old boss, used to live together. So Joe kind of was just talking about, games and stuff like that. We're all working. And then I think I went over to Richard, I can't remember the first time I met you. It wasn't D&D. It was something else.
I'm trying to remember.
It might
I
have
remember
been,
we had a gaming night at
Jello
mine
wrestling.
and Joe's house.
Yes, we had a gaming night because that was the day after or the day of Mortal Kombat coming out, and we all played Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I thought it was
I
before that.
I think that
Or was
wasn't
it?
like when we
no,
initially
it was.
met.
You were at the apartment.
Yeah, we were at the apartment and we were playing like
were playing
old
Street
like
Fighter.
Wii. We were playing Wii. We were playing all kinds of games,
Yeah.
like just having a
Yeah.
video game night.
And I was amazed because that was the first time I actually ever smoked indoors. I was like, "Oh, you guys just smoke cigarettes in your apartment?" And I was like,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
We didn't give a shit.
But more and more, I started kind of falling into that group. Like I met our all mutual friend Bera, and we've played D&D campaigns together with other people. And then always kind of kept in touch with just random stuff and played random other games online. And then I got the message one day. I said, "Hey, Max, we're thinking about doing a D&D campaign and thinking about doing a podcast." I'm like, "I've never done that before. That sounds cool." And now I am here, and I didn't think I'd be a part of a thing like this, and the thing actually taking a following and having a lot of people listening to it. Like, if you told me this 5 years ago, I'd be like, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I'm ecstatic
And
about
then
that.
on that day, the first day of recording, I met Steven.
Yep.
Well, no,
Adam-
it was session 0 was the first time.
It
we
was
did
Session
that is
Zero,
true.
you're right.
So we didn't record. We met one time, and
No, we did record.
oh no, we didn't record for the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
We just recorded for proto podcast. But yeah, that was the first day I met Max. Was the first day we recorded. And Adam married my cousin.
We see each other on Thanksgiving and Christmas and his wedding.
Yeah.
And
So
your
before
reception,
this. Oh,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
actually where I met Steven.
Yes.
yeah, so I met Adam a few years ago when he started dating my cousin, and then I met Richard. When they had a reception for when they got married, and then I played the D&D. Adam invited me to finish up his last campaign that he was running, so I came in super late and got to know a lot of the guys I mentioned, and then he asked me to do this, and I said okay after I thought about it.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You were like, give me a week, think about it, and then you were like, yeah, I really want to do it. If we're not going to be doing 2 campaigns for too long, I really want to do it.
Which I have to say is really brave to like go into something that, you know, is as complicated as D&D, but also doing it in like a, you know, recorded format.
Where you're going to be putting it out to the public. Like,
yeah, that's that takes a lot of stones to do. So I'd say I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Yeah,
No pressure.
Oh no. I mean, I've very clearly stated many times I have no idea what I'm doing, and I purposely haven't gone out and read the entire player handbook. I didn't read the Mythos book.
Hey,
I didn't read any.
Neither
of it.
have
I was going to say, really quick aside, nobody has read the entire player handbook.
I'm the type of person where if I were starting for the first time brand new with like some people that also were starting brand new, I would be the one that would have read the entire book. But I figured I know how Adam DMs, and I know what we're trying to do isn't based around the rules of D&D 5th edition. It's based around the story we're telling, the role play, the D&D mechanics help us tell the story. And so I'm going off of what Adam and Richard and Max tell me. So if they say something is, you know, this is how this works and they're wrong, just remember I'm going along with it because I didn't check. It's them that are wrong and not me.
Yeah. I mean, I get shit wrong all the time, but I don't care.
I mean, it happens. And ultimately, like, the thing that matters is really consistency, not necessarily accuracy.
Like the rule of cool, any and all ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if something does need to be changed, we just change it later.
Yeah.
And we just go with the flow. And I think that's a great, that's one of the best pieces of advice that I got from listening to other DMs and everything out there on YouTube and all, that you don't want to bog it down with a bunch of like figuring out rules and everything. And as the DM, you should just be able to just call it and just move on and then address it later.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not an original thought. I got it from other people.
But it's still a very valid point.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Second question is, what are things you enjoy outside of D&D?
And such.
And such.
It didn't.
Very important. to
It
include
is important
and
because
such.
I mean, then you could
outside
just
of
be like,
Lovecraft.
oh well, I
and-
also like Pathfinder.
we played Starfinder that one time.
I really like the movie Aliens.
I also really like the movie Aliens.
It's a very good movie.
We could
although I
have a
prefer Alien.
No.
We could have a podcast just talking about those two movies.
No, I rack Alien
Yes.
up there with it's Lovecraftian.
It is
like
very
the way that the
Lovecraftian.
story is told.
Absolutely.
So, but back to the question, things that I like to do. I like spending time with my dogs and cats. I like going out to the barn, and then I get told to do chores, which I like, but I don't. Final Fantasy 14. I really like that. It's something I go in and out of, but right now I'm really into it again. I watch a lot of TV and I read a lot of comic books, specifically DC comic books. And currently right now I've been watching Smallville since I got sick back in March, and I'm down to the last 3 episodes. So that's been my main focus TV-wise recently is Smallville. But yeah, that's I don't do a whole lot. I sit at home every day and I don't really work. And this is my work.
What are you talking about? You're working on the podcast every single day.
Yeah, so well, not every
Not
single
every
day,
day,
but
No.
but this is my work. This is my work. I can't work every day because of my mental illnesses.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next,
Sure.
unless Richard
go
is
ahead.
dying to go next. Okay, I don't do anything. I just no, I'm.
Wow, way to just
I have absolutely no hobbies.
I work. I sleep sometimes. I really enjoy. I really enjoy movies. I was interested in like doing stuff with movies when I was younger, and didn't realize what a crapshoot that was. So I like watching and discussing movies a lot. I don't have a lot of time to do it right now, and I do a lot of work with my church, and yeah, it was. I'm not interesting. I figured I'd go first, and that way it'd be covered up by other people who have stuff to say.
I'm not interesting either.
Go,
I
Richard,
watch
go.
TV and read comics.
So, I partake in all kinds of media. Like, I game a lot, and currently I do play a lot of Final Fantasy 14 as well. Like, I guess maybe in
two guesses who he plays with.
actually no, we don't. play
Actually,
a
we
whole
really
lot
don't play
lately.
together.
Oh, really?
Like a lot of the
He
time,
raids, I don't.
Yeah, a lot of the time I've been doing lately has been raiding.
Oh, anytime I'm on PS4 and I see you guys online, you guys like, oh, they must be playing FF14 together.
Like, funnily enough, like we haven't a lot lately. But anyway,
We just got different. There's so many things to do in the game
there-
that we
God,
just
is
do
there?
different
ton of
things.
to do. But I watch a lot of shows, movies. Like it's, I don't know if I could really list because it would take me all day long. But recently I've picked up on like some of the DC Universe shows like Titans and Doom Patrol and Harley Quinn, and that's been a lot of fun.
I got them on there.
Like I watch a lot of Netflix originals because I have access to Netflix, and there's tons and tons and tons of content there. Like I'll give just about anything a try, like especially as far as like shows, movies, and everything goes. Most of the reading that I've been doing lately has been actually in manhwa, like Korean comics. Like to, I guess, name a few that I follow is like The Gamer and Hardcore Leveling Warrior.
Is Tower of God a manhwa?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
I have not read Tower of God at all.
I remember Bear read Tower of
I'm
God. I
actually-
think Bear read Tower of God.
I'm actually working on catching up with God of High School.
Or maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. I can't remember which one he was. I know he told me about that back when we worked at Carowinds.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. I have very broad interests, and I just kind of enjoy taking in media.
Okay. I'm along the same lines. I'd probably say my interests are a little bit different. I absolutely love wargaming in any kind of fashion. Like I just this year actually kind of have a little bit of money to invest in it, so I started creating a Warhammer 40K army. And then COVID happened, which was sad, so I couldn't actually play with anyone. But I found some other ways. I've been using Tabletop Simulator and basically playing games that way. But I mean, any kind of video war gaming that involves strategy, I have. Like I've got the Total Wars, the Company of Heroes, the Command and Conquers, the Hearts of Iron. I got it all. I'm very, very, very big into sci-fi. Like I love Star Wars. I love Star Trek. I love Stargate. I love The Expanse. Any kind of like spacefaring stuff or stuff involving giant robots. So Gundam, Macross, Full Metal Panic, Front Mission Universe. I love giant robots. I have a couple of models of the Gundams and one of the, I think it was the M9 from Full Metal Panic that I've built in plastic model form. So, outside of that, watch a lot of movies. Don't really do a whole lot of reading outside of 40K rule books and 40K lore. I'm doing a lot more D&D reading now because I've gotten together with some old friends from college, and since COVID happened, they want to do a D&D campaign. So I've taken upon myself to act as the DM for the first time, and we're going to play out one of the books. We're going to play Ghost of Saltmarsh, which is a 5e book. Mm-hmm. So I'm super, super, super intimidated by doing all of that stuff. So I'm doing my best to try to read up everything and create the encounters and think about how my friends would engage a situation and kind of be prepared, but at the same time give them enough freedom to kind of do what they want to. So it's a lot of thinking, it's a lot of reading and writing and formulating a direction, a story. And the more and more I do this, the more and more you know what? There's a lot of writers in the world that would be great DMs, fantastic DMs. It's just they don't use that as their medium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I recommend as starting out as a DM, what really helped me was there's a How to DM series by Matt Colville.
Okay.
There's hundreds of episodes, but he has so much information
and really great insight on what does and doesn't work and the kind of things to watch out for.
And that's a YouTube series?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Matt Colville, he does have his games. He does do Patreon where he plays games for patrons and or he runs a campaign. But he has a How to DM series. He's got some other series as well, but definitely check out start at episode 1 of his How to DM. And he's pretty awesome.
I will have to do that. It'll
definitely help with that nervousness and everything.
Yeah, it's the nightmare situation I have is, of course, getting a rule wrong, but at the same time, as long as you play it off in story, you're fine. But I also want to throw enough engaging material at the players so they're really invested about what they're doing. They're thinking about, what would their character do and what would their interactions be, and not just, okay, I'm bored, what's the next thing we do?
I can go ahead and tell you, though, even if you're playing with rules lawyers, for the most part, at the worst, they'll just tell you, oh, no, this is how it works. They're not going to yell at you or anything like that. If they do, then they're really just toxic players, and probably better not to play with those people.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm being honest, for the most part, rules lawyers are more trying to make sure that things are done the right way than they are about trying to berate you for getting it wrong.
Yeah.
In terms of that, it sounds like they're trying to solve the D&D equation, not play the game.
As a somewhat rules lawyer, yeah, that's kind of it.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get through all the questions.
Well, we can definitely try.
Sure we can.
Let's go real fast.
Where did you all draw inspiration for your characters from? Only 3 of you have to answer this one.
Okay.
No, we need you to explain your inspiration for every character you've created so far, Adam.
I could do that. Oh. Whoa. Oof. Next podcast. I'll go first really fast.
Okay.
So mine is pulled from Resident Evil because I'm a huge fan of William Birkin. So Birkin is one of the people who created some of the biological viruses in that. And he's very seedy and conniving, and he has this extensive pride in his work. And I kind of took that as one of the primary inspirations for the character.
That's cool. I didn't even know that.
So as for Alistair, the initial impetus for it was, oh, hey, you can play as a cat. That sounds really cool. As far as personality goes, I just really feel like cats in general are just stuck up. So I kind of wanted to portray that kind of personality. So if you want to compare it to characters, maybe drawing a bit from Lucifer from the show Lucifer, or Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley.
I love it.
Or Garfield.
Which maybe a little bit of Garfield. But like, I don't know if you realize this or not, but it was like a Reddit post that I think Adam showed me a ways back. But Guilfoyle in Silicon Valley is like a human cat.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Okay. And then me, Adam sort of was interested in me playing the Mythos School character. And so I looked at it and I essentially just did my own spin on that. So it's got this big long description in the book about how that race is. And so I more or less imagined if I was forced to be that race, and built a lot of the personality of it off myself.
I didn't force him to be the race.
He didn't force me. He encouraged me to be the race. And I looked at it and I'm like, that would be interesting. I can make this work. And so I partnered with him on it. But a lot of it pulls from exaggerated character traits that I have or have had in the past. So I can be more timid, I can be reluctant to do things, that kind of stuff. A lot of that pulls from me. That's where some of my more artistic work that I've done in my life, I pull from. So
except for the whole eating dead people thing, that's totally unrelated.
Right. That's just something I enjoy in my spare time. But I actually have a Vimeo account with only one video on it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's under my name. So if you just look up my name on Vimeo, it'll probably pop up. And it's a short film that I did when I was in school. And I wrote and I'm the main character and stuff. And there's a lot of insecurity in there. If you watch that, it's very, very short. It's like 4 minutes, so it won't take any time. But if you look at that, you can see the similarities between the characters just in general. Being not content with how your life is in your situation.
All right. Well,
Steven's getting deep again.
Sorry.
No, it's good. I like it.
All right.
Funny joke quip.
All right. Next question. When starting the show, what were your expectations as far as listeners, interactions, etc.?
None. Next question.
Yeah.
That's so
No
true.
expectations at all.
Like we really intentionally tried to keep our expectations to a minimum because like we wanted to do this as a fun thing to do. And I feel like if you put too much expectation into it, you're just going to find yourself disappointed. All of it is welcome and absolutely awesome. But we tried to make sure that we're doing this for us and everything else is like icing.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
Except for Corey. We're doing it for Corey.
Now we're doing it for Corey.
Now we're doing it for
Now
Corey.
we're doing it for Corey, yeah.
And Matt Mercer, if you're listening, just call me for a cameo. I'm available all days, every day.
How long do you see Mikes and Monsters going on for?
I guess that's a me question.
That's mostly a you question.
Until one of us dies.
I have a plan for that.
I don't want to die.
I'm scared now.
I just can't reveal that plan yet until after season one ends.
Here's something that I will say.
Die, but I especially don't want to die.
Here's something that I will say that Adam and I have talked about since we first started talking about doing Mikes and Monsters to begin with. We always kind of intended it as more of like a blanket kind of thing, so that it's not just we're exclusively doing Cthulhu Mythos D&D. Like the idea was that Microphones and Monsters could be more of a tag for whatever campaign we choose to do this way. So in light of that, I would say indefinitely, as long as we're still able and willing to do it.
Yeah, and I can't answer that any better. As far as this campaign, I have a plan to take it to 3 seasons right now. So, and we are almost done with playing through the first season. Like we're maybe 1 or 2 sessions away from finishing.
What we're considering one season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I consider them seasons because every season is going to have a huge transition. and I just can't reveal what it is yet to even them.
Yeah, I was
so.
going to say.
I knew it was going to be in a somewhat seasoned format recently, but I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I have my own theories, but like even those are just theories.
I took one of Adam's toes, and so now I have a vision of what this is.
So next question. Why are you all so freaking awesome?
Because you think we're awesome, and we thank you
Yeah.
for it.
That is
Yes.
absolutely the
Yeah.
answer.
That's the answer.
And the last question, which is really, again, kind of an Adam question. Other than Cthulhu Mythos game setting, what inspired the creation of the world as a whole?
Man,
That's a tough one.
something that's a tough one because
It's because he plagiarized the whole thing. Took it from someone else.
He has people like chained up in his basement that he like makes write this stuff for him.
I got my own ghostwriters.
They only get beaten when they come up with bad ideas.
Oh God. None of that is true, and I don't even have a basement. That made me think of something else. But like we said, or like I said in the last session, Darkwell itself, the inspiration for it, and it's almost it's similar to Innsmouth, from Lovecraft, the city layout. But as far as the world goes, there's one city, the city of Anubis, where the paladins were fighting that happened in the monologue with Edwin North, which I did forget to say his last name in the the sessions, but he is Edwin North. I don't remember if I said his last name.
Could have sworn you did.
Yeah.
Or I think maybe I did.
I'm not sure. I know you said Edwin.
Yeah, I definitely. That.
But that was, I created that session, or I created that battle that was going on there off of I needed to create a battle for Dietrich's character's backstory. And that's what that was. Which that was, I can't really say that was, I pulled that from anything. I just kind of made it up as I was going by pulling creatures from the monster manual. But it was just a big battle in an undead city, basically. Like it was taken over by some unknown force.
So
that
maybe you can kind of expand on this a little bit more, but I think maybe even a part of it is like the inspiration to kind of incorporate that kind of timeline setting of things that are more Lovecraftian with like imbuing magic to kind of create this. I don't know if this is an actual term yet or not, but it should be magic punk kind of society.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that was like just, oh, well, we still need to have magic.
I
in
call
or
it
if
magic
There was like
punk.
some other impetus for that.
I do call it magic punk. I have used that as a descriptor for the world. Again, it's a really hard question because there's more than just the world going on.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the inspiration behind, and I may have to edit some of this out, but the inspiration behind, like, I wanted to do something different. I can't really say where I got it from. I'm tired of the normal fantasy tropes.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying there's anything wrong with them. I just didn't want to play it again.
I mean, at a certain point, fresh is always better. Like, it's good to have something that's new, change things up. Like, it kind of helps keep things more unexpected, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
And the good news is if everything shifts over to this other thing for a while, then like a little ways down the line, you can go back to the normal thing and kind of have a fresh perspective of it.
And the 1920s setting, I wanted to do it because it is a lot of Lovecraft horror. What's the Call of Cthulhu RPG game?
I mean, even just the
I would
the
even
books
say
themselves, like based on
Bloodborne.
when they were written.
Yeah. A lot of it has to do with the time period that it was written in, and I like that setting in a way. Like I don't like a lot about the 1920s and 30s.
There are definitely some downsides.
But as far as like a setting in a fantasy world, that's very inclusive. I wanted to bring that fantasy, all the races and everything like that, but take away the armor, take away just your swords and shields and all that kind of stuff. Take away the gods, like your traditional Final Fantasy, your traditional D&D gods. Like they don't exist in this world. So clerics aren't really a thing. Not in the sense of what a normal cleric would be. Like I would say, if you play using this world, a cleric from the player's handbook wouldn't work because none of those gods exist.
It wouldn't work in
but
that
the cleric
sense.
Yeah.
Like it would be more like similar, I guess, to the way that druids work. It's just instead of necessarily being dedicated to nature and drawing from nature, like they draw from different ideals.
Yeah. And we've had this discussion before on clerics, that it's not necessarily drawing power from a god. It has a lot to do with just their faith in general, on where their power comes from. That's just our own little just musings. But there are clerics in the Sandy Peterson's Cthulhu mythos that they're tethered to eldritch gods rather than your traditional gods. So there's a lot of weird shit that goes on with that rather than just your normal kind of cleric, like mutations and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Like there's so much in that book that's really cool that we just haven't been able to explore.
Yeah. And there's no way we would even in 3 seasons, we wouldn't be able to explore everything in that book. There's just so much material there, and some things just don't work with each other.
It's true. Like, funnily enough, I was actually kind of considering doing a different type of Dreamland's Cat for a while. Like, I ended up settling on a warlock, but I was heavily considering at one point doing a different type of Dreamland's Cat, like possibly a Saturnian or your Uranian one, and doing something a little more like combat focused.
Yeah, I think those would be cool, and the story would have been different because I did cater the story to your guys' characters. Like I built around your past and everything. So there is. I am a firm believer there's not an original thought out there, but a lot of the inspiration for a lot of things, like as far as my world building outside of what you've heard, and what's to come that I can't tell you about. Yeah. That's why it's such a hard question, because there's more than just the world of Duns Altera.
It's also all your experiences you've had doing role playing up to this point too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
all right,
but
we killed the questions. They're dead now.
Okay, that's the end of Microphones and Morons. Have a good day. Bye.
But yeah, I'm sorry about that last one. Like, it's just such a hard question to answer right now.
And I guess in general,
but I wanted to try.
It's kind of hard sometimes to pick out where you get your own inspiration, because it often is like an amalgamation of so many different things.
I think
Yeah,
I
mean,
should hold on to this question after the culmination of Microphones and Monsters, the campaign happens, and then probably revisit it.
Yeah.
And you've actually been doing pretty good about in Discord, like offering up little bits of inspiration for one character or another, or certain situations that happen in the campaign.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a lot to do with Edwin North. I did mention it in Discord. Even the name, I just picked a different direction.
Right.
But the Herbert West, the Reanimator from Lovecraft, that's where I got Edwin North from, and a little bit of his monologue and past and everything was heavily inspired by the Reanimator, or the 5 parts of the Reanimator. Not a direct copy, but you can, if you were to read it, you would definitely be able to be like, yeah, that's totally where he got the inspiration from.
But yeah,
Marvel Comics Venom.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I could say that inspired you, because you didn't even quite get it for a bit.
No. I had it in mind when I was creating the item. I was reading something whenever y'all were talking about it, and that's why I didn't catch the Carnage thing or whatever.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was trying to. Y'all were just talking and goofing around while I was trying to figure out something to keep the game going.
That's what we do.
That happens occasionally.
Yeah, that's why I like keeping in. This was a discussion talking about people making bloopers and stuff like that. I love bloopers in all sorts of stuff.
Our podcast is the blooper.
Yeah, I leave our bloopers in to break the tension intentionally.
Yeah, if you just left in the serious stuff, like, it wouldn't be nearly as much fun to listen to, I think.
And we wouldn't have had like a dozen takes of like the "what is your name" jokes.
Yeah. So I like leaving in that stuff just because, like, it breaks the tension, and then boom, I throw a curveball and the story gets serious again.
And I think it's a good balance, like, of that kind of tension to tension break.
Hell, that was the whole point of the outro song.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted it to be a lighthearted outro song. So if it did end on a very serious, a very tense moment, it gives the listener a chance to kind of digress from that tense moment.
Oh yeah. And it seems like lately we've been having mostly tense moments at the end.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there was a lot of thought put behind everything with planning Microphones and Monsters all over the place. I did pull a lot of inspiration on just the structure of the podcast from listening to other podcasts and figuring out what I liked, what I didn't like, what I thought could be better, and whether it's better or not. I went with what I liked and offered it to y'all. Like, hey, what do y'all think about this? And I mean, y'all pretty much went with everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think that's a podcast, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is the end of the podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, we will be getting back into that, chopping up that slime dude. Well, they will be. I don't know what they're going to do with it.
I will be doing no such thing. No chopping involved. Right?
Blasting desperation attempts of destroying it.
Lab bumbling around hiding. hijinks will happen.
Yes. It's a lot of fun. And July is going to be
Man, July's going to be a month.
very
It's going to be hot. It's going to be heavy. And it's going to be right in your face.
Yeah.
July is leading up to, because July and through half of August is the next 2 story arcs, because there's one little mini story arc, and then there's another 3 story arcs. There's a mini, and then there's another mini, and then there's a boom.
Yeah.
Leading up to finale through
Get
August.
ready, because
yeah.
July is coming at ya.
It's just 3 detectives
In an elevator. And then Manrose came.
Tomato guns. He lives in an elevator. His name is
elevator. You heard it here
Manrose.
first, folks.
Confirmed.
But there is some more. There is more to do with Manrose coming up this month.
Oh, God, I cannot wait.
All you Manrose fans are going to be thrilled.
I cannot wait for that July Morons, because I'm going to unload on that episode.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Manrose groupies, get on deck, because it's about to be
Oh, God. We
a
don't even know
fun
if there's
ride.
a Mrs. Manrose.
Oh, we don't.
Oh.
You're right.
Oh.
She might not like all these groupies.
So there is a Mrs. Manrose, that's what you're saying.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that's June Morons. We're handful of morons just being a podcast. That doesn't make sense.
Nope.
But yeah,
It's been
good
cut.
night,
Get outta
everybody.
here.
Well,
Bye.
it's morning.
Whenever
maybe.
you listen to
depends
this,
on when
I
you're
don't
listening
know.
to this.
Good night, good morning, good
Yeah.
afternoon, and good evening.
Yeah. Listen to that
music
next episode.
Is written and produced by Marco Mazzei.
Go to
Fallen Highway Studios.
Go to www.microphoneandmonsters.com for all episodes and content related to the podcast.
I forget about our plugs on these morons episodes. It's like my IQ drops.
Or you know what?
when we start
even if you
recording
just
this.
search for microphones and monsters. Like from what I've been able to tell, it's actually coming up pretty readily now.
Yeah, fucking tell everybody about it. Like, even if you don't know them, you see somebody in the store, they're wearing a mask, you know what? They might be cool.
They might be a Julian.
To be real, though, we
Might be
actually
Julian.
should get Microphone and Monsters masks, because that's good advertising you have to wear.
You absolutely need to
Yeah.
Is
get
that
a Julian
available on the
mask.
little store thing we have?
I think we do have
It
masks on the
is,
store.
but I think there was something wrong with it. Like, the pleating, like, did not turn out well for somebody else's mask. I am thinking about ordering one and testing it out with our logo and see what happens. But yeah. Oh yeah, we're also about to hit 1,000 followers on Twitter. So if you're listening to this at the time that it's recorded and everything, we're about to hit 1,000 followers, and we're about to do a giveaway with some Microphones and Monsters merch. So get people to follow us, and you might get a free shirt or mug or mask. Who knows?
Who knows?
Thinking of doing two different giveaways in 2 different ways two different ways of entering for each one. So you have a chance to win 2 different things, and follow our Twitter and make sure we'll put the information out there. Like, I get dumb. I don't know what's wrong with me.
it's almost like it's a Morons episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just being in character, that's all.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it.
So for the 3rd time, goodbye.
And final.
Thanks for listening
Yeah,
to
final.
Microphones and
Yeah.
Morons. Bye.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Love ya.
Bye.